Good evening, folks, and welcome back to Biblical Britain Uncoded, or Britain's Map Tricks Uncoded, or World Map Tricks, really. It's been a little time since I did my last one. I was down with a cold for about a week, but really speaking, I'm not in control of obviously the timing of this, but I've got something just as something that's kind of been pointed out to me. That obviously there was the solar eclipse on the 8th of April this year. Incredibly, now, anyone who's been watching this, welcome to anybody who's new to this channel. I'll just cover this first. 1st of Jan to the 8th of April, which is the date of the second solar eclipse over America, which obviously there was a code. Which, in fact, let me read. In fact, let's just, before I do this, let me just do a recap of where we've been. I can only do the recap on the messages. Obviously, I've got a ladder to complete, but there's a lot more to this, and I've kind of been sideswiped a little bit, but so you'll have to bear with me, because we need to go down the ladder before we go up it, I think, but some extraordinary code, as always, has come through in no time, really. I mean, I'm panicking most of the time since the last one, because I wasn't getting too much, and then as always, all of a sudden everything starts dropping and it all makes sense. In fact, the final code that I'm going to do and show you, well, I keep getting to anyone, like I say, if you've been watching this, you will know what Orion's riddle is. Well, there's a bit more, quite a bit more to Orion's riddle, because it's actually a star map as well that fits with the exact code written in the stars of Orion. Okay, and that is really the highlight of this video, but I can't really do that until the end. So please keep watching this video, because, well, I've got some amazing messages before it, and again, Job's Coffin is throwing up more and more code. Anyway, a recap. Oh, firstly, the map ship. I'm just going to read the codes. Obviously, it comes from the ship that is drawn onto the atlas. It says, Marco drew dart to RGH padlock sign target, where we fixed the mast ladder to the Argus Ark ship keel. Right, this is important. Connect Orion's riddle. Okay, well, I will be connecting that on the end of this video, because and solving Orion's riddle complete. I thought I'd done it a few times, but clearly not. Connect Orion's riddle. Final event escape, Welsh key fort HLZ, now writing a warning. Then we went to the arrowhead, which comes from one of the seals on the ladder, which I've already gone from the last video, which won't make a lot of sense if you haven't seen the last video. But the arrowhead seal says, Yah has led his Welsh Messiah to Babylon with Solomon's Hill Fort key seal. Absolute fact, that's what happened. Map tricks reveal the Mel H RGH Ark ship exit where the dart hits the moon target. The Ark of the Covenant is hidden under Jerusalem Kaiwent Temple. Connect thy Sabbath law. The code he opens will be seen before the Welsh Red Dragon flag planet will be seen. So them that find my words heed his warning. Remind that time be short, man's world ends, time's near up. Rearrange moon eclipse words for the message. So the moon eclipse message, again, you'll have to go back to the last video to see how it's done. It says, as due, Evac ship land Llanmelin, seal Marco's Orion name. Right, well, the connect Orion's riddle and seal Marco's Orion name both go together and will be well, solved at the end of this video, as unbelievable as it is. Okay, following on from that, I mean, just getting into how this all fits together. The Cancer constellation, which makes up the coordinates on the Earth map and a star map, with one overlays the other. So the Cancer constellation template that goes onto Britain. When you encode the stars in Cancer, it says Israel, Iran begin, opens up last conflict, USA, China, Europe, UK, Russia, bolt thy last, I am due message, seal all. Obviously, I started to do this in the last video when I started to bolt the seals to the ladder. Okay, then the actual bow itself, which is encoded in the atlas, the bow that make it within the bigger map, it says Bolt Baby London, or Babylon Don, whichever way round you want to do it. Bolt Baby London Arrowhead, Bolt Baby London Arrowhead onto 9 exit ship ladder. Enter last cry, solved it. Okay, I can't go through everything on there, but I just wanted to just recap just to show you how all this flows from one code into the next, each video. Okay, so on that note, the point I was making, obviously, right, if you've been following this, you'll know this is all based around Job 9:9, the gold statement of the Gold Testament. Testament's an anagram, statement is an anagram of testament, but there's really add the G at the front, and it becomes gold statement. Well, the gold statement is actually written in Job 9:9, and it's coded in, as he says, who makes Orion, Arcturus, and the Pleiades. Right, when you take the full name of each one, Orion the Hunter, Arcturus, which is just a star in the constellation of the bullseye, actually, Taurus. Sorry, no, it isn't. It's in the Boot constellation. Ignore that, which comes with another message, but we'll get into that. Arcturus, and then you take this, the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. When you encode the actual message in that, it says, I see truth return, so I return on H. Set all Evac H IDs. Okay, what we're effectively what's going to happen is, and the Job 9:9 code is, again, when you add the countenance divine, and your anagram countenance divine, it says I N count 9 Evac. So, and it's not the only thing, but basically what you've got is a 999 job. And for anybody in America, 999 is the same as your 911. And I got a 911 code on my Masonic ladder. But this is the second, obviously the real ladder of the kind of rapture, which explains Jacob's vision. Okay, right. But interestingly enough, obviously the code in the moon eclipse code actually says, as due Evac ship Lamelin, seal Marco's Orion name. Right, again, we'll come to the Orion name, but right, from the 1st of January 2024 to the actual day that this eclipse took place was in fact 99 days. Now, I don't generally do numerology, but interestingly enough, 99 days goes, obviously, and the 999 job, or the 999, which is a 999 job, or the job in 999, tells you that as due Evac ship Clanmelin. Well, the Evac ship Clanmelin is obviously encoded in the ladder and everything else as well, as you'll see, as these codes are just so tightly linked together, it's absolutely phenomenal. Okay, right, on that note, I'm just going to pause you a second. Okay, folks, right, I've obviously drawn this on I did it on the last video on a bigger board, but it didn't work out too well, that board, so I've had to sort of reduce everything down to size. But if you want to see a better version of the ladder, or a bigger version, well, you need to really see, because we dealt with the first three, really. Obviously, there's the apple, and we dealt partly with the coffin, although there is actually more to come on massively on the coffin, on Job, which is basically connects to the constellation, which I didn't even know existed until, I don't know, just before the last video I did, a couple of Saturdays before, and how it came about. I was, you know, when you put something on YouTube and it was waffling in the background, and I think I was on my phone or something, I don't know what I was doing, but as I just glimpsed up, and it had sort of rolled into from whatever I started watching into something else that I'd lost. It wasn't even what kind of watching, but out of the corner of my eye, there was a picture of the dolphin constellation, and I just caught it. There was no mention of it in this video, but on this map on the screen, there was this Job's coffin. Well, when I see Job's coffin, instantly, and you know, obviously there's a coffin on the symbols for the temple as well, which we're going to get into because, well, it represents an awful lot, past and present. And I suppose future, well, past, present and future, really. Okay, so the question is, obviously there's each of these seals, obviously, I've decoded each of these seals. This is obviously the arrowhead seal, which is an A, the river seal, which I explained on the last one, which is the river 7, the scene RV, which is on the temple as well. This is the Jerusalem temple, which is the RV as well. Then what you've got is why is there a US dollar seal in the ladder? Well, essentially what it is there's basically the bunker for the World Economic Forum and the Vatican, and the elites is pinned. Obviously the Vatican definitely, well, they know that where this kind of meeting place is for the end times. Whether they know there's an actual, well, I call it a rapture, but it's an Evac, which is what this represents. I don't know, but obviously then you've got then you fill in the blanks, Avis, because the constellation is called, the constellation is now called the Argo Navis, but if you look at the small print, it's clearly the Argus Navis, and they've changed it. And I know it's the Argus Navis because of Solomon's paper ship. Obviously, again, as I explained, the newspaper for South Wales, where this is all based, is called the South Wales Argus, and that's why it is Solomon's newspaper ship. More to come on it. Okay, then what you've got is the Norse compass. Norse compass is also an anagram of Recon Map SOS. Okay, if you've right, I can't get into all of this, but this will link back to the Vatican. It links to obviously it's in the SOS is in Mon. Then if you follow the Vatican cross, which I've done it in a previous video. If you follow it and look where it points to and follow it up, it hits Oslo. Oslo is obviously the trigger, it's the warning basically. When Oslo falls, get to Mon, and Oslo is an anagram of Solo. Obviously Mon is, and then when you put the two together, you get Solomon. There's a bit more to it, but we'll come to that. Okay, in the meantime, right, the reason it's on there, because even though it's an American seal, I don't know how they got the seal. There's a story that whoever was writing the seal up was having trouble with it, and a hooded man or whatever, some person came to them and said, "Oh, I've got you a seal." This is so the legend or story. I don't know whether it's true or not, but well, however they got it, what it is to expose them in the final end times. Okay. Right, as you're probably all aware of, Annuit Conceptus Novo Ordo Seclorum. This is what's written on the dollar bill. It's Latin. And then E pluribus unum. Okay, just quickly, basically, this is what it's. Annuit Conceptus Novo Ordo Seclorum. He nodded at the beginning of a new order of centuries. Okay, they're obviously taking this as they're the New World Order, and they got the nod. They twist everything around. Okay, but what it really is Yar is telling you at the beginning of time, because obviously he's outside of time, and what he's telling you is at the beginning of time, the beginning from the end, he's already put it into play, because and what it says, and when you anagram this down, what it says is Ventus Ilurum, which is the name of where this temple is, the current given name for the place that we read the real Jerusalem with a G, is Ventus Ilurum. If you Google Ventus Ilurum, you will find Caerwent, where the place where obviously I live and where all this is based. Okay, it says octopus ones in door. Well, the octopus ones in door are those that have basically gotten in the door, and they've got the Vatican and the World Economic Forum, which is the beast. And well, I'm probably it's going to be got to be, well, if you're going by Revelation, the false prophet and everything else. Obviously, the false prophet, if you ask me, is the whole story of Jesus and the whole Vatican thing. It's a complete and utter lie, as I'm about to expose in another code. Okay, and the Christians are just following the same God, Amen Ra, and that's why. And every time you say Amen, you just, well, like I say, it's a massive deception. Okay, Ra is the snake from the Garden of Eden, decoded in the Aries constellation. Okay, right, I can't get into all of it, like I say, right, okay. But what you've got, when you anagram this down, the only letter you get left over is a C. Now, when you know what the C is, and this is where your CC33, so locking in Mons King, so locking in Mons Temple, so locking in Mons Key. Well, the key and the temple are the lock. The lock is on the temple where the Ark of the Covenant is underneath, and the key is a key hill fort. And again, more to come on that because, right, okay. It's hard to know where to go with this because there's so many different avenues that connect. Okay, e pluribus unum. Right, it says, but what it says in Latin or translates is out of many one. So what you've got, not at the beginning of a new order of centuries, out of many one. But when you fill in the blanks, basically, and I'm doing this quickly, anagram it down, this anagram e pluribus unum down, and it says e pluribus unum plus UI number, plus UI number, plus UI number, and then you just add it in, and what you get, and basically what it's done is, for whatever reason, and I do not understand it, but if you're going to make extraordinary claims, and unfortunately I don't have to, it's just, the code is doing it for me, which is fantastic, and I'm happy with that. Right, okay, anyway, without waffling too much, because we've got a lot to get through. Okay, so the first part is the $1 bill bunker is effectively a prophecy in it, the $1 bill and the pyramid in the eye, and if you notice, the reason there's a split in the pyramid is because I think it represents everybody else, and that's their New Jerusalem coming up from underneath, which is what they're planning when this is over. Their $1 bill bunker saves them. They get through Neberu and everything else. However, there's some bad news coming up for them, because what I'm about to show you is absolutely crazy, but absolutely brilliant as well. Okay, bear with me, folks. This will all make sense shortly. Okay, folks, just a quick reminder as well. Obviously, I found Job's coffin, and now, obviously, at the bottom of the temple, and what you see on this Masonic symbology. Bear in mind, this I don't know what the Masons think this symbology is. I think they know so much of it, but they certainly don't know it all. Obviously, I only know it because I get given these codes on a regular, well, as you know, on a regular basis. I've connected to this tetragrammaton, but we'll come to that. Okay, so there's only two named stars in the constellation of Job. Rotanev and I don't know how you say it, Sualocin or something, is it? But either way, when you encode it, what you get is not on Siler Evac, okay? That's an exact anagram, no E, that's the only thing that's missing. Obviously we know, well, from all this, we know that the Phoenix event of Planet X, or Neberu, which is going to become apparent again in the following codes. Okay, so what it's effectively saying is those not on the C, right, the word cross is also an anagram of RCSOS. Well, the Roman Catholic SOS, or RC is Roman Catholic SOS, is under this bunker. But there's another code, secondary code, with a second coffin that I will come to now. But effectively, those that wait for the Roman Catholic SOS, which is Jesus who isn't coming, I'm sorry to tell you that, folks. I know I'm going to be labelled Antichrist and everything else, but anybody could do what I'm doing, because what I'm doing is not by my own means, I can assure you. There is a big event coming. There is it's not a rapture, it's an evac, but you could call it the part true rapture. There's a code in that as well. But basically, those not on the Siluri evac, the Siluri are the real, what has been changed to Israelites and all moved to the Middle East. The Siluri are actually the tribe that are on this, on the fort, that lived on the fort. Coelin ap Caradoc being Solomon, encoded as Solomon. David Caradoc ap Bran being obviously David, but they removed the David and left it as Caradoc, but left the code in it anyway, which I've already done and encoded in the last video and previous. Anyway, without getting too much into it, and Solomon's grandfather, David's father, is Caradoc ap Bran. Bran I'm not sure of his surname because it's a bit complex, but he was known as Bran the Blessed. And he was blessed because he was blessed. And the Key of Solomon is the hill fort he handed down to David, Caradoc ap Bran, who obviously handed it to Solomon, being Coelin ap Caradoc. And these are all kings that, well, that recorded David ruled from Jerusalem, or Caradoc ruled from Jerusalem. Okay, so that all ties in biblically as well. But bear in mind that we've already had a code that says that the ancient Welsh Bible rewritten, and it also says secondary code, and another code that links exactly with it says ancient Welsh history is hid in the depths of the Vatican. Okay, so basically everything's been scrubbed, and it was a great reset, basically, of everything. And this is where Jesus and everything else, and the lies and everything else, which I'm about to expose via code. Not me saying it, and like I say, if Jesus was, if this code was telling me that Jesus is coming, or whoever, Muhammad or anybody, and I'm not sure, you know, whoever was coming, and to be honest, it'd be a lot easier to tell you that, well, what I'm going to show you at the end, it'd be easier to explain it as being I would rather be telling you it was somebody, or easier to tell you it was somebody else, but. Anyway, without going into too much detail, right, I'm just going to pause you there because I'm going to show you the second coffin, which ties directly with this pyramid. Okay, folks, as you know, I've uncoded as well the Giza pyramids and I can never say this, the Teotihuacan pyramid, or whatever it's called, in South America. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to come to that. Right, but why is there a pyramid on the bunker? Well, written on this symbol is this sign. This sign then overlays onto the map, which highlights the safe zone. But what you have, effectively, this is the Cancer constellation. You've got the apple here as well, on the wall. Okay, right, which is a crab apple, that's why it's on Cancer. Cancer, the crab. The crab represents an apple. It's the bitter apple. Because if you're not on this Evac, then basically, and you're going to wait for Jesus, you're going to be waiting whilst this planet gets bigger and bigger, comes in closer, and a horrific end. There's two ways off this planet. It's one by the Evac on the ship, or, well, alive, effectively. What happens after that, I'm not too sure, but obviously it's all good. And you escape this, it's escaping what is coming. But if you're left behind, and right, okay, so they put the octopus ones are in the door in the bunker, because that's what this represents, the Great Pyramid Bunker, encoded in the dollar, with the octopus ones in the door, and also encoded on this symbol there. They've got their dollar bunker inside the Heaven's Gate on the ladder, on the ladder of Jacob's vision. Okay, so how you get there? Obviously, it's the Great Pyramid, but by adding the phoenix and the E, what you get is the Great Pyramid. Well, a pyre obviously is a funeral. It's a funeral pyre. It's where the coffin gets burned. And I think that, I don't know what the total outcome is, but let's just say there's two Roman Catholic well, the ones that are up top have been lied to, are waiting for the Roman Catholic SOS Jesus, and he isn't coming. But by the time they realise it, and will be, and they've gone, there's two ways to get off this planet. Like I say, there's no return. This is a one-off event. But the Roman Catholic SOS, which is the bunker, those in the bunker who are not they're making no effort, they think they're safe. They're in their Roman Catholic SOS, because the World Economic Forum and Vatican's bunker is underneath there. And it's a Cold War bunker. We know this exists because it's a former US Air Force base, now owned by the British, but allegedly. But obviously they've sold this bunker to, I'm assuming Fink and the Vatican, and there's some sort, there's a massive bunker underneath, and this is where they're planning to go, right in the middle of where they know this safe zone, or what they think is, I'm assuming is a safe zone on Earth, believing that they're going to use these poor Christians as a human shield, or they're going to survive, and the Phoenix, who is Fink, thinks he's going to rise from the ashes. But that is not the case. They have just literally dug their own grave, and this represents their own funeral, basically. Okay, so that is why there is a ladder. But really, this pyramid, even though they've inserted it's in the centre of the ladder, in real terms, it's underneath. It's under the ground. And also this there leads you straight back to the Vatican to connect the Vatican to the bunker as well. It also connects to where I work now, but we won't go into that. Okay, so right, bear with me. Let me just do the last part of the pyramid code. Okay, again, this is more of a recap for anybody who's already watched it, but again, like I say, everything I'm showing you is shown in previous videos where I've decoded this before I even got the ladder. Obviously, the ladder thing is only a new thing that was given to me. Okay, right, the Giza Pyramid and the Teotihuacan Pyramid in Mexico. Both of these line up with the sun, apparently, as well. There's something with them where they line up exactly as the sun goes down, funnily enough. Okay. Right, Giza, that would be a Z, but the reason it's a double code, and the YR, I've explained this before, but a G, this is an anagram of a G is your map ID. Okay, this is an anagram of can you tie your map ID to a H? Okay, right, this symbol is on this one again, but this is showing sideways, it looks like a JHB. All you do, you've got the two pyramids, and then you flip it to give it a tick, which is the line underneath. You just rotate it, and the answer is yes. Okay, how do I connect my G map ID? Okay, right, firstly, your map ID G is Gymru, which is which is also an anagram of Mr. Guide, so it's obviously identifying me and Wales, the Gymru being the Welsh word for Wales. Okay, so, right, the reason it says YR, basically, G is your map ID, can you tie so you bring down the Y, the R, then the G is my map ID, and then the H. When you tie it all together, you get YRGH. Flip the Y becomes the Cancer constellation, overlays onto the map with the two forts in between. You've got the river, which is the R, the Jerusalem, which is the fort, which is the G, the lock, and the H is the key. So this is the key, and then the moon highlights the safe zone. Okay, the safe zone, or the Evac, the rendezvous, and the Evac zone. Okay, but when you unscrabble the name of the pyramids included in this, and there's more to come on this, Cheops, Khafre, and Menkaure, and then the Pyramid of the Sol Moon, and those are the main pyramids in these two. And you unscrabble that, it says you can tie your map ID to a H, which I can. Free H man, which I've already showed you. iCode key, which he has. Map Mon SOS. Argus Arc Ship LZ. The Argus Navis Ship LZ, which is also your G and your H. And obviously the Cancer constellation would overlay onto that as well. Okay, right, enough on the pyramid. Right, I'm going to have to move on from that one and now show you the new codes I've got. And show you that the pyramids are actually a set and this is no fluke. Okay folks, I'm just going to quickly run this, okay, but there's video to back all of this up. Okay, there's a prophecy in Daniel, the bear that raises up on one side with 3 ribs in its mouth and is told to devour much flesh. Okay, there's so much more to this, but I can't really go into it. You'll have to just go back through the videos. But I can assure you, when you see it, it's phenomenal. It identifies things, it says he's starting an Eden War, I forget the code, but it's Denmark as well in this. But the 3 ribs on the map look like this. Basically, you've got Norway, Finland and Sweden. Look at them on there, you can see the carcass. The bear raises up on one side. Once he's finished, once Ukraine is done, this is where it's going to go. If NATO is all going to break out, World War III, it's coming. NATO, when you've got Finland is the flesh, to uncode for flesh, you get and it's told to devour much flesh. Well, the Flemish, I'm flesh. So the rib on the outside is Finland. Final land probably as well is in that. You put Denmark in there and it's got Mark's End, we end, I forget how it works all together. The Finland is, but this, like I say, there's so much code. Right, but the main one, okay, right, why is there a Norse compass? Right, if you follow the Vatican key, which is encoded in the stars as well, incidentally, on Orion, funnily enough. I'll have to come look at this a bit clearer, but basically if you follow where this key points to, this is how the Vatican is laid out. So you've got the Roman Catholic SOS, it points to where it is. You go to this key part, there's a lock there as well, so to unlock it, use the Vatican key, follow the line. If you follow the line centrally up, right up, it hits Oslo in Norway. Okay, so when the Russians are on way, and then you've got the R overlapping it, that's an anagram of Norway, Norway, on way R. Okay, and Oslo is an anagram of solo, so you've got solo, and then obviously they're on their way to let you know that get to Mon basically, and there's the R, Mon, that's the G and the H is the lock and the key, Jerusalem and the H, Mon GH. So what you got is Solomon RGH. So that is the signal that you know things. And I got a bad feeling as well that the fall of Babylon is going to be by a Russian nuke, and I feel that's probably Oslo is going to be the same. Probably, I don't know why I think this, but a tactical nuke which doesn't give off radiation, but anything but London, I'm absolutely positive, and yet this is going to be the end of Babylon, which, you know, and again, right, I'm just going to show this, why not? Okay, right, I think the whole purpose of Giza and G-Rus. Okay, G-Rus is Jerusalem, it's the shortened version, it's named after the constellation G-Rus, and you've also got Giza. Okay, these represent locks, so if we take the locks off, what you've got is basically, yes, it uses Z, but obviously this tells you where the LZ is as well, but you've got Russia. This is effectively what you've got is Russia. Okay, so Russia is basically you know, the thing this is the sort of European part of the puzzle. Okay, I'm going to leave it there on that. Right, bear with me a second. Okay, folks, right, the first one is, I've called it Jerusalem Constellations. Right, the first four are basically the ship. Okay, right, the Argus Navis constellation was broken into four constellations. The ancient constellation was the Argus Navis. Now they've been split into four. Gerus the crane, Carina the keel, Pupus the puke deck, and Vela the sails. So what you have is the Argus Navis. Basically, these are all coded for the Argus Navis and how I managed and all the things that I've taken and basically created the ship from on the map. Okay, the next four. Right, Kylum the chisel. Right, all I see with that is Kaiwent Silurum. The chisel. It's also the words. We're going to use the chisel to unlock, basically, to chisel away the words in the sword in the stone, or the words in the stone. Sword and words are the same word. Okay, we're going to use Circinus the drafting compass. Norma the square rule, Pixis the compass. Obviously the compass is important because it's also CC map or CMAP SOS. When you see it, obviously you put the C in there, it's so locking in Mon's temple, so locking in Mon's key. The square rule, obviously all this is based around the square and the compass as well. And you obviously, that's obvious, you can see that within the code. Okay, the only other one right, the connecting one, I said this before, the octans is a connecting code. When you break the octant down, it actually it says connects that at. Okay, connects that at. Well, I am going to connect that at, but basically all this is going to connect to make the most amazing message, or one of the most amazing messages, well, and confirm the set of coffins as well, on the ladder. Okay, bear with me a second while I unscrabble this, and all I'm going to do is anagram this down as I always do. And for anyone who says you can anagram anything, yes, you can anagram a load of nonsense, there's no doubt, and maybe you could possibly put some sentence, Kevin got the knife from the kitchen, or some stupid thing like that, and I've heard this a million times. But as you'll see, these relate to pictures on the map as well, so it's doubling up. And not only that, this message also connects not only with the ladder, but to a secondary message I've got on a pictures that I did long ago and didn't realise there was more code in it, confirming things, showing that I didn't know at the time. Well, I didn't have a clue at the time when I drew the pictures I will show you shortly that are so relevant to all this. Well, you'll see what I mean. Let's just move on and let me just get through this one first, right? Bear with me a second, folks. Okay, folks, so number one, okay. So the Argus Ark ship picks up the people that evac Earth, connect Jerusalem square and compass, expose the Catholic Church, theft, lies and sin, connect the Siluri pyramid set at Melin. Right, the Siluri pyramid set is obviously the two coffins. Okay, obviously the Siluri pyramid, well, the first one is not on Siluri Evac when the Phoenix event comes. Not on, basically, if you're not on the Siluri Evac and you bite the reskin, well, this is where the theft, lies and the sin comes in. The sin is that you're worshipping a false idol without even knowing it. An idol of wood and stone that cannot see, hear, speak, walk, talk, gold and silver. It's clearly Jesus on the cross. And they've deceived you into believing, and this, I know this is going to sound crazy, and I hate it, but I'm not comfortable saying it, but the theft is an identity theft of the Messiah, which I've got more to come on that, the Christ, which is, they've changed to a Christ, and they've turned everything on its head, basically, and the lies are that you're saved by the blood of Jesus. Is not the blood. You are not saved by the blood of Jesus, and at some point when this ship arrives, you're going to have to get rid of your crosses of wood and stone that cannot see, hear and speak, because Jesus did not die on a cross for anybody. And I believe it's a story based on some Welsh guy called Iesus, I think his name is, who I think is buried with Joseph of Arimathea, who's a lot to do with this, under the tump across the road, which is identified as Solomon's tump. There's a star constellation that even identifies that, drawn into the map on a picture. If you want to see that one, and you want to see that all these things I'm showing you, the key and everything, the US dollar bunker, it's all encoded in the Solomon tump video. So, like I say, these are only even snippets off the top. Okay, well, we know the Argus Ark ship, and it picks up the people that evac Earth. That is quite clear. Connect Jerusalem square and compass. Well, the square and compass is the square for simply in the shape of a compass, which is Venta Silura. When you do a compass, north, east, I always do this wrong, south and west. Okay, obviously it's also NEWS. It's the news that goes and then you've got Solomon's in the river, the reflection in the river of the paper ship. And it also makes a star, so it's a starship as well, but it's a newspaper ship encoded on the Gwent levels from Newport, which literally you go from Newport, go along the Gwent levels, and that's where the ship on the map is drawn, or that I did from the constellation of the Argus Navis, or the main clues came from it, and then it all pieced together bit by bit. But the Newport newspaper ship, well, the Newport newspaper again is called the South Wales Argus. This is all prophecy. It's all encoded in Solomon. There's so much more to Solomon than meets the eye. This whole thing is an end times prophecy. Okay, to go with that, you've also got the functions, because you've got the level. Oh, I'm not very good at drawing these levels. This goes with the river, the river on the Argus Navis on the ladder seal. The reflection, but this is actually the Newport Lighthouse, so I just know it is. And in the reflection of the River Severn, you have seen the RV. because this is also the rendezvous for the tribes before the LZ, which is on Lamelin. Okay, on top of that, right, another one that came to me, this is just crazy, but it is what it is. Okay, the Holy Ghost. What is the Holy Ghost? Right. It's the host G. Okay. What is the host G? Okay, well, the fort has an angel on each corner. It has Gabriel. Oh, I'll get this right, bear with me. Gabriel. Bear with me. Gabriel. I've got to get this in the right order. Michael, Raphael and Uriel, I think it is. Or it's basically, they're the four. Right, the four, so it's a host of angels on Jerusalem, basically. That's what it is. So the Holy Ghost is also a code. And it's also a code because the fort's always been there, but it's been kind of hidden or killed off type thing. And obviously it's there, but it's a ghost. Nobody can see it. But now it's obviously coming. He says he brings things back to life, and this is what he's doing. The only missing one is why is you. Is you. Well, not only is it Gumri, and when you take the word Jerusalem, it's also seal. G M U. Well, you seal it with the letter Y. Seal Gumri, seal Mr. Guy. I'm the kind of, well, I mean, I can't remember anything, but it keeps telling me that I was an archangel and I've been sent to do this job. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, and I'm the first to admit it, and I can't get my head round it, but there's so, well, I've been woken up, well, there's a reason that there's a coffin as well. There's more to that, the coffin's yet. Okay, so, right, okay, where do I go from here? Okay, theft, lies and sin. Connect the Siluri pyramid set at Melin. It was clearly the pyramid set is the Great Pyramid, the Roman Catholic SOS, and which is the bunker underneath. And the second one is those that are not on Siluri Evac. These are they're basically the set in or the coffin jobs. That's what they are, the coffin jobs. Those that don't get on, those not on the Siluri Evac, and those in the Pyre, those that are in the, well, the soon-to-be Great Pyramid. It's amid the safe zone, but obviously once these people are evacuated off, and you're not on you ain't right, and you're not on this ship, then, like I say, it's, and if this doesn't happen, again, 999 is quite significant as well, because 99.9% of this is code, obviously, and the only thing it needs to do is that 0.1%, which is, again, is the only thing left is for it to happen. And obviously, when it happens, he says, I show you things in ancient times, not yet done, that you know that I did it. I am you should say I am, or words to the effect of, I am Yahweh, your creator and saviour. There is no other. No Jesus, no nothing. I'm not the saviour. I'm just literally the guide, the angel, even with a message in my name as well. But again, we'll come to all that. Right, okay, so we've pretty much done this. The Argos ship picks up the people of the Evac Earth. That explains itself. And we've got the ladder as well, even telling you the name of the ship. And you've got your Argus visa, your Argus N. Basically, if you're not on the... there's so many codes in it. I can't even go through it all. But as you can clearly see, all this religion is a lie. Every religion is a lie. It's all designed to control the masses, to keep them down, while they've been building technology and everything to save themselves. The Catholic Church, the only thing that Jesus ever saved is the Catholic Church, and it's got its power. And it obviously is brought in, Lucifer is, it's all coming together, people. We are really in the end times. On that note, though, let's go to the next part, and I can show you that I clearly draw things that I don't even know why I kind of know why I'm drawing it at the time, But then later on, it just proves that this was, I'm being guided. It's not just random that I pick these and draw these pictures. Right, on that note, bear with me a second. Okay, folks, firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the drawing that I did, or as good as did. I was slightly off with it, but I think, well, no, I know that that's actually deliberate. Let me just shrink this down a little. Okay, probably does. I don't know whether you can see from here, but what's bizarre about this, it's at least over a year ago, way over that, I was uncoding the lost tribe of Joseph, which turns out to be, Yosef it should be, not Joseph. There's no Roman J, it's a Yosef. And it's actually encoded as the tribe of yourself, okay. As you will, and you will see why that is. And they were exiled from Britain. Okay, but what I actually did at the time was drew this, I didn't have it quite right, and there's one kind of, right, the only difference was I drew this line and I hit Caster on C, which says, I think it says, as in a secret or something, but the reason it did it is because it could have easily been mistaken, this, for a shovel and a pickaxe. Well, as it turned out, I realised, now I found Job's coffin, I realised that this is actually a template. This coffin is a template of Job's coffin, or the constellation of Job's coffin. And where it actually goes to, unbelievably, now bear in mind the bow and the arrow seal and everything else, and the destruction of Babylon. Right, if you follow where I pinned it, this would be Clanid Lois, I think it is. This is I can't even put it, Clanid Lois. And I did that because loses clan ID, and obviously, but you'll see why I come up with this, and with you know, the things that were guiding me at the time, obviously not having the full picture. I've got the full picture now, and lo and behold, it confirms everything. Okay, the second place I put the coffin was on a place called Lempster. The reason I did this is because it is insert Moel. Right, this will all become apparent because, the third, let me go to, down here is a place called Man Moyle. Okay, now the man and the moil uncoded from Ezekiel's vision. Basically, you've got the man, to identify the man, what he sees is a four-faced angel, and it has the face of, he obviously has the face of a man, the face of an ox, the face of an eagle, and the face of a lion. Well, when you bring all the first letters to each one down, to identify the man, you take the M of obviously the man, the O the ox, the E the eagle, and the L being there's more to it than this, but I'll come to that, but the L being the lion. But when you encode it, Ezekiel's vision was clearly at this place called Man Moyle. Now, what makes it even more crazy is that Man Moyle is the place where I actually bought my caravan. Ezekiel is also a code because it's with a Z, but there's a reason for that. I seek L's wheels. Well, L's are angel's wheels. But I can tell you now that the wheels within the wheels in Ezekiel's vision are the caravan wheels, 4 wheels. It's a twin-wheeled caravan. Again, I'm not going to go into all of this on this video because I think there's a lot more to come, because the 4 wheels, I've uncoded them as well, or as good as got them all. But right, anyway, I'll come back to that. Okay, but what I realised is literally when you follow Job's coffin in the heavens, okay, and you follow this line through from Clanid Lois through Lempster, what you hit is Lewisham in London, which is the exact place where Babylon's fate, or that identifies Babylon. It says I am, but it also says I am Welsh. Well, then you've got the Booth Wells is, apart from one letter, but you'll see how this all links up in code. Booth Wells is it's Welsh bull. Okay. Where are you? Let's put Booth Wells, but just so you can see. This code crosses on Booth Wells. I can come across a little bit because as long as it's within the red ring, and it is. I mean, I've sort of splattered these down a bit rapid, really. So you've got so basically all the place names, and then what you've got for the pickaxe, you've got Manchester. I don't know if you can see. Well, hang on, let me just pull you across. This is Manchester, Eccles, Rockfield, Monmouth, Kyle 5 lanes. Now what they do, they both cross, or as good as cross over, which allows you to join the two up, because they're both significant to the overall code. But you've got Man Moyle there, and obviously I've just drawn this obviously just so I could link the two pictures together, but this wouldn't really, in real terms, won't be there, but the two pictures do link. Because what the pickaxe does is showing, it's digging up basically the coffin. See, the other meaning in the coffin is the lost tribe of Joseph, or the lost tribe of yourself, which you'll see who that is now. Bear in mind, I've already decoded all this in a previous video. Now I'm getting the confirmation that I was in fact correct. And well, the lost tribe of the Marco Manoi, unbelievably. Now what's amazing, this place here, shock and surprise, is called Square and Compass. There is actually a place called Square and Compass. Now, obviously, this now links to the Square and Compass codes on the last, on the star code. Okay, so without further ado, let me just show you. This is the constellation. Let me just pull this across a bit because I can't move it. Okay, this is the constellation of Job's coffin. Okay, right, the two name stars are basically, say, not on Siluri Evac without the E, and obviously I showed you how you make the cross. The cross on the coffin is made up of the Siluri Evac and the word Phoenix. Okay, but the Gamma, Delta and Epsilon is standard names. They're not actual names for stars. All stars have got Gamma, Delta and Epsilon. I dare say there's probably some form of code in those as well. But at this point I don't have it, so you can ignore the Gamma, Delta and Epsilon because they're standard fill-ins for stars that don't have names. So, but they're the two names that really matter, and also if you see alpha, beta, also, but they're an alphabet code as well, which it is an alphabet code. All this is alphabet code. Okay, but if this was drawn onto the map, this would be Square and Compass, the place called Square and Compass. This would be Llanidloes. This would be Leinster. This would be Lewisham. And this would be Man Moyle. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the map and I'll show you a little bit now. Well, when you see the code, it's quite phenomenal, knowing that I already drew this out without even realising what I was drawing. Again, showing that when I draw these things, I am genuinely being led, well, by the creator's plan. I don't know how he does it. Whatever this tetragrammaton is, this thing that remote anagrams these things to me, well, or just put these conscious thoughts in my head that take me to these places. I draw them, I know where to stop. There's reasons I stop at these places already there, but I don't realise that 2-3 years later, or a year later, then I encode it and find all the confirmation of everything that I encoded in between, as you're about to see. Okay, on that note, I'll just take you to the board. In fact, I'm going to keep this on a minute while I do this, because it freezes and then I mess about, so bear with me. Oh, a bit lower, no, a bit higher. Okay, bear with me, folks. I want this right. There we go. Right, okay, so the places that are actually right on this coffin. What draws this picture? These draw the pickaxe, this draws the coffin. Okay, I've showed you there, I've numbered it. So Booth Wells is in the middle. 1, 2, Man Moyle. 3 is Leinster. 4 is Llanidloes. 5 is Square and Compass. Notice at the bottom of the coffin is the Square and Compass. Well, the coffin is on the bottom of the temple seal, basically. Well, it's shown on a few different seals, but it's essentially on the temple seal. Okay, funny that the tribe actually carries my name as well. Okay, and then Lewisham, I am Welsh as well, but like I say, so Eccles and Manchester at the top, Rockfield, Monmouth are where the sort of handle joins onto they go out to Malmesbury. But see this says, see this is by my be my Jerusalem, Bethlehem, be the Mel H, Pumsate and Mapsate. This is how I kind of did the first bit. Craigie Bar, Gaia Crab. Well, we know it's the crab. I was born in the Cancer constellation. This was a new one. I got this one. There was a bit of confusion. And 5 lanes. Well, can you buy? Was it something about the bands in the furrows? There's more to that, but you dig up 5 lanes and you find the band in the furrows, which is part of a bow. Kaya went, obviously. Well, it's where the care went as well. Monmouth, obviously, it's all in the kingdom of Mon, and I'm probably the mouth of Mon that's speaking up for it. Secret H, man. Eccles, that actually, there's something with Ecclesiastes. I set as Eccles, Ecclesiastes. Rockfield, because we're digging the Silurian bedrock layer. There's an actual layer called the Silurian bedrock layer. I'm just showing you my theory of what was put in my head and things I was seeing at the time that I pinpointed these, not knowing that the following code was actually in it. So bear with me. Without further ado, I better do it because we're going to run out of time and I'm not going to get to do the main code today. But well, there's enough to get on with this. But right, bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, folks, right, okay, I'm going to have to kind of rush this because otherwise this isn't going to upload. But most of it we've done anyway, and well, like I say, there'll be more to come on some of this anyway. Right, okay, right, the first bit made me chuckle. I don't know if I got this the right way round because Wise and Mr. Guy or Gumry are both codes in themselves. The Wise code is Wales, Ireland, Scotland, England. When you unscrabble it, it says recon seal. A G will stand end land. Gumry is Mr. Guy as well, but I think he's meant, I don't know, but it did make me chuckle. However, it took the smile off my face before the end because what it reveals is quite, well, more than scary. Okay, I'm not for me, but I'm certainly concerned that, well, obviously what's about to happen is not good. Okay, it says unlock them, Mr. Wise Guy. The Jerusalem square compass, well, we've already done that. It says, insert the lost Welsh bull clan, Manmoil Angel. Oh, hang on, I've messed this up a bit. That shouldn't be there. Where is it? Right, that should come out. I readjusted it, I did, because I realised it was in the wrong order. Insert the lost Welsh bull clan, Manmoil Angel. This is the 4-faced angel, but the angel in question is the lost tribe of yourself, or Yosef. You just add the letters, and it's the lost tribe of yourself. And they're obviously, I think the lost tribe are called the Marco Manoi. They're a British tribe, and these literally exist. They're in Germany, and there's something that on the Royal Arch seal as well, which I'll come to on the next video, that confirms this in the most extraordinary way. Okay, insert the Lost Welsh Bull clan, and bear in mind that the tribe of Joseph or Yosef is represented by the bull. This is what it is. But the bull becomes an ox when he gets the yoke, and the yoke is also an anagram of O key. So he carries the yoke around his neck. So the O key is the Orion key. Again, I'll come to that, but because otherwise we're going to get more confused. Okay, so the Lost Welsh Bull clan, Marco Manoi Angel. Okay. Right, seal the Babylon coffin cross. Well, obviously, the coffin I just showed you, obviously, I think the word Welsh perhaps should be in there as well. Seal the Welsh Babylon coffin cross, because Lewisham is I am Welsh. Okay, but again, I'm going to have to go into this in greater detail on the next video. But then it says that also, well, obviously unlock the Mel H map evac ladder, which I've done. And the most scary part is, and Babylon as well ties with this, because the Babylon message says that, well, as I read, it tells you there's limited time, man's world ends, time be short. It really has it all in there. It's written on the coffin itself. Okay, limited time, Neberu end. And right, incidentally as well, really weird of all weird, not a week after, and I'm sure this is relevant, I'm going to throw it in the mix because it'll probably come up in code if it's right. It may not, but I don't know. But weirdly, about a week after I decoded Babylon and those messages, strangely, Big Ben in London stopped at 9 a.m. in the morning and restarted at 10 past 10. Okay. On the same day, 2 horses escaped and caused chaos in London. Right, one was a black horse and one was a white horse. Okay, now I'm going to put my neck out here and I'm going to say this relates to the chessboard on the temple. I know partly what that means and why there's a checkered board, but the black and white Canaanite horses, the king's horses that escaped basically on the very same day. But 9, obviously, bear in mind this is all about Job 9:9. 99% of the way is code and triggers. Okay, 10:10. Well, the 10th tribe is Reuben. Okay, the Atrebates. This is who Rome. So see, this is the root of Rome as well. Okay, 10 is also X. Well, when you unscramble Reuben, it's Neberu. So I think this was another warning for. He says, "Come out of her, my people." Babylon, when Babylon falls, and I think it's going to be, like I said, I'm not 100% sure, but everything is pointing to a Russian nuclear missile and then they're going to be, I've decoded it and go back through my the Bear with 3 Ribs prophecy, and what, honestly, the place names, everything all connects up, and it tells you that basically that the Russians will be in the UK. Like I say, I thought I'd throw that. I'm going to leave it there, folks, because I really am. I'm going to have to unlock my gate, take the padlock off and unlock it. Unbelievable. Even my job, it's all about. I'm the key holder for the entire site. I won't go into detail, but anyway, without waffling too much, as I've said, folks, take this. Please take this serious. See, I had 2 choices with this. And what it says is, will you, in the Old Testament, it says, will you keep wisdom to yourself? And it goes on to explain that you will have blood on your hands. Now, as far as I'm concerned, on the 1,000,000,000 to 1 shot that this is all coincidence, because that's how the way this links up is so perfect, and I do it in seconds, and I know that even though I don't speak to Yah directly, I know that he's clearly guiding me to do it because of the way, even how clever this all lays out. But I had to, and if on the 1,000,000,000 to 1 shot that this doesn't happen, I will hold my head up because I did the righteous thing. Because when you see, if I were to just keep this to myself and not tell anybody, I would have the blood, and this does indeed happen, then the blood is on my hands for those that I didn't warn, basically. And he says, I set a watchman, to warn the people, the watchman on the wall. Well, I'm literally on the walls of Jerusalem, literally opposite it. But he says I sent a watchman and he needs to give the message and that. Now, if I'm wrong, and I will never explain it to the day I die, how on earth I put all this together, because believe me, as clever as I look, I'm not clever outside of this code. Without this guidance, I could never do this. Folks, and obviously I don't want to be responsible for people's death, but understand that I'm not doing this to blaspheme anybody or do any, I'm not doing this out of anything horrible. I'm doing it out of love for people, because I do not want to see people die unnecessarily. I mean, I can't stop what is coming. This is all laid out already. I think he ran the simulation. This is the best result, and this is why, but only a remnant go up. So if you're lucky enough to be watching this video, and I'm assuming if you're still watching and listening to me waffle on, then I've probably got your attention. You had, if you know, you without a doubt, you're truly blessed. I often ask, why can I not get this message out? Well, I think it's partly to keep me safe, and obviously, if I'd have put this message out earlier and it had gone, to a lot of people, it would have been so bitty, it would have put so many people off, and I dare say it's done that along the way. But I'm convinced that Yah is sending the right people, the people that are, and I'm not saying all, I mean, some people are going to probably stumble across this channel by accident. But I would say, if this is resonating with you, then you are probably, no, I wouldn't say probably, you are being called by the Creator, and He's telling you to get right now. What you need to do, stand in a letter Y. To not go to Him with a double, and again, this is the upside down, this is the Cancer constellation in reverse, in the reflection. But anyway, this is me praying, this is how I do it. I hold my head forward, hands up, and put my sins on my palms. And I offer them up. And I apologise, and I genuinely apologise, and I know I've been a fool in my life, and I've done some stupid things. I've literally been no angel, and I think this is why the Marco Manoi are in the coffin as well. I think I was, well, he says, numbered with the transgressors. Well, the life I've lived, and well, I should be in that coffin, but there's more to it, and it seems that I was sent to do this. And I think, I don't know, but one way or another, for some, and I do not, for the life of me, understand why it's me. But obviously, I'm waiting to find out, and when everything happens. But I clearly cannot, I'm literally checkmated on that chessboard. I'm the checkmated, king. Well, there's more to come on that, but and I don't know. Like I say, folks, I'm at a loss to explain why me and why I've been chosen, why I was chosen or sent. And I don't, like I say, don't remember anything. Anyway, on that note, put your sins on your palms. Don't go to Him with a double. What He means by a double heart is, I know that, I don't hate doing it, but I gotta say it. If you go to Him and asking Jesus for salvation, you are completely missing the point of all this. Because what He's doing is proving that they are absolutely lying to you. You're not saved by the blood of Jesus. He said you can only save yourself. But you need to save yourself by doing this, basically. And getting your hands up, sins on your palms, genuinely being sorry for everything you've done, and just ask for, I ask for wisdom, and I think that's why this cup gets filled. I mean, in reverse, this would be a river, and I think this could well be the vessel in the Holy Grail. The vessel that finds the ship. The vessel, the ship, there's more to it than that, but I'm not going to get into it right now. But and the mark on the forehead, the mark of Yah on the forehead. Well, if this was me praying, that would be the mark on my forehead. His initial is the letter Y. And like I say, fills my cup with wisdom, and almost to the point now where it is literally, he said it overflows. Well, it blooming does. It really does overflow. So anyway, on that note, folks, I need to go and unlock this gate because I'm running late. And Yah's blessings to you all. And just wait for the next video. And like I say, time is short, and I'm hoping I'll get next video. I probably will, because I've got so much. Well, like I say, you haven't seen the ultimate, the star code yet, but I'll come to that. Okay, on that note, Yah's blessings.